All right. All righty. Welcome to the Rise Up podcast. I'm your host, Jonah Mitchell. On this show, I do my best to help you get out of your own way and get to the point where you could achieve the results that you want in a sustainable way without, you know, temporary results that lead to long-term problems. Ultimately, I want you to be the best version of you, whether that's through nutrition, through fitness, and through overall mental mindset understanding. Whatever it is, I want to help you to the best of my ability. And today is Thanksgiving. And I wanted to do a very, very quick episode because I had a lot of conversations about Thanksgiving, and it was fun. It was actually quite simple because it's something that I tend to teach people all the time is I want them to learn how to have food, allow themselves to have certain foods in their diet without feeling like they're crossing a line with themselves. And Thanksgiving is hard for a lot of reasons. Well, every holiday can be hard for a lot of reasons, but a big one is that it can feel very mindless, or we can feel like we're very obligated to make certain decisions, or we don't feel like we have much control around certain options, and ultimately like we feel like we can't have a lot of things. Like I was talking to one of my clients and she's like, I can't be that person that is just has one bite and walks away. And I was like, I always ask like why? Like why do you say you can't be that person? Because there's this point where when we have that kind of language where we say we can't be or can't have something, we've closed the door to a possibility. And our brain doesn't like that. Our brain doesn't like that. So similar to what the episode is titled, I want you to eat the damn pie. I want you to eat the food that you want to. Where the common denominator with all these problems that people face around the food is they don't have enough reminders of what they can control. The only reminder they have is what they've struggled with in the past, what they can't have. And the funny thing is, our brain gets what it looks for. Our brain will always focus on what we tell it to. And it doesn't know the difference between what we don't want and what we do want. Because once we're focusing on it, that's all it cares about. So if we're saying all the stuff that we can't have, well, now all we're doing is focusing on everything that we can't have. And that becomes our main focus. That becomes our main decision making. And that's why it's much easier to go down the slippery slope of feeling like, oh, I can't even have one bite because now I'm going to lose control. A very common analogy I like to use for a lot of people is what does a child do, or what does your kid do when you tell them they can't have something over and over and over again? They can't have the cookie, they can't have the thing, whatever it is. Well, all they're thinking about is the cookie. And fun fact about humans as we get older, we don't really change that behavior. We become adults and we assume that we're supposed to have our shit figured out and we're supposed to have it all together, but we're all just big ass kids. Honestly, we have the same mental processing. Yes, we're older, wiser, but we still behave in irrational ways when we feel like we can't do something. We're inherently stubborn. So when we tell ourselves that we can't have something over and over and over again, there's an inner child in us that says, "Well, I'm going to make sure that's the only thing I focus on." And the second that I finally break the seal and I have that pie, well, now it's all hell breaks loose. I'm going to have 6 slices of pie. I'm going to have the whole pie to myself. And that's where we feel overly stuffed, disappointed, discouraged. And now we feel like, well, we crossed too far of a line. So the rest of the holiday season is just a wash and we'll start again in January. It's like, no. If you want pie, say that you want it. Stop this internal turmoil with yourself. Stop arguing with yourself. Stop telling your brain to focus on the things that are going to make you feel worse. Like I talked to multiple clients and asked them, what usually happens when you allow yourself to have dessert? Well, I feel like I go off the rails and I feel discouraged. I feel overly stuffed. I feel like I messed up. Now I just give up and wait till next year. I'm like, okay, do you want that to happen again? Well, obviously, no. That's the answer, right? Well, if the answer is no, if you don't want that to happen again, then why are you going into the holidays with the same mentality that you used to have? Don't touch the thing. Don't touch those foods. Can't have that. I'm super stressed and anxious. I don't know if I can say no. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can not overeat, or I don't know if I can't not finish my plate, or I don't know if I can have. I can't have a pie, or whatever it is. Whatever the story we tell ourselves, we have the same mentality. We're focusing on everything we can't or don't want. So let's switch the script. Let's flip the script and start focusing on everything that we do want. How do we want to feel in the holiday season? Do we want to feel empowered to make decisions that are that allow us to feel like we're making to allow us to feel like we're still making directions towards our goals, but also allowing us to feel like we're able to live our life? Because everyone tries to make this black or white, all or nothing. No, like most things in our lives, there's usually a very gray middle, and that's what we need to find. It can't be 50-50 where you making healthy choices for your goals and, feeling like you can go balls to the wall to live your life. But you can find a middle ground that's a little bit more appropriate for the ideals, the ideals that you, or the standards that you want for your life. People want to have the results and live their life at the same time, but they don't know how to do it because they try and make it black and white. So if we focus on switching our mentality first and reminding ourselves how we want to feel instead of focusing on everything we don't want, because like I said, we're going to turn into a little child that's panicking, that wants to freak out, right? That doesn't make it any easier for us. If we focus on what we want to feel, now we're telling it, I want to feel empowered. I want to feel satisfied. I want to feel like I was in control and that I was able to enjoy myself appropriately, like I didn't cross a line with myself. Well, then now we're thinking in a different way. Now we're going into it. How do we prioritize certain foods to help us feel that way? How do we prioritize certain decisions to help us feel the way that we want to feel? And when it comes to the food, I'm not going to sit here and tell any of my clients that they can't have anything, because that's perpetuating the same mentality that we're trying to fix. I tell people that you can literally have whatever you want. You can. You just have to keep in mind your goals and how much of what you want is ideal for you to feel satisfied and also feel like you're still in alignment with your goals. Because if you want pie, you can certainly have a slice of pie. You certainly can. But if you have a weight loss goal and you want pie and you have half of a pie, well, then either we need to reevaluate the goals that you have, or we need to really look at, like, okay, where's the boundary we need to create to make sure that you can feel like you can have the pie appropriately, but not cross the line with your goals. So essentially, this is what we start with. On the food terms, when it comes to decisions around the holidays, not just Thanksgiving, right? It's start with protein. There's two foods that we prioritize during the holidays, because these foods help us feel more satisfied quicker, and they make it harder for us to overconsume calories. I don't want you to not have anything, but I want you to give yourself the reminder that you can make a decision, and then second, to listen to your body when it tells you you're full. Because if you can listen to it, then you have another reminder, say, okay, I'm getting close to the end where I'm going to start feeling like bloated and really uncomfortable and not happy about my decisions. So if we prioritize protein first, right? Your turkey, your ham, whatever, it doesn't matter if it's lean or not, just care about prioritizing that protein first. About a palm size, 1 to 2 palm size servings of protein first. Build your food or build your meal around that. And then if you have a salad option, right? I have a lot of clients that their closest vegetable is a green bean casserole, right? So if you have a salad option or a simple veggie, make half your plate about or fill it with those veggies. If you don't have just a simple veggie option, if you have, like many of my clients, like a green bean casserole, and that's the closest thing you have to a vegetable, well then cool. Start with, that's the closest thing that we can. That's going to have the most nutrients inside of it, right? That's going to help us. That's going to have fiber, vitamins, and minerals that are going to help us feel fuller quicker. About a quarter of the plate can be that green bean casserole or something similar to it, right? We're prioritizing the protein and the nutrient dense vegetables first, and then the last quarter of your plate, right, or about a fist size serving, pick your favorite side, one of your favorite sides, and then eat that whole plate. That was your decision, right? And then give yourself some time. It takes about 10 to 20 minutes for our brain to tell for our gut to tell our brain that we're full. So now we're giving ourselves some space to digest and process. And because a lot of us, like, we are full, but because it takes so long for our gut to tell our brain that we're full, well, this is why it can be very easy to overconsume calories, and this is why we feel super bloated and uncomfortable. So if we have our plate of food where we prioritize nutrient dense first, we allow ourselves an appropriate serving of our favorite side. Now and then we wait, we drink some water, we mingle, we enjoy ourselves with our friends or family. Then we sit there, and then we sit back, and if we're still hungry, Well, you have the autonomy to say, I'm going to go get another plate because you gave yourself the time and the space to process. Right, you're gaining control in an environment that you said you wanted to feel in control, that you wanted to feel better in, and you're also allowing food in your diet appropriately. So then if you want that second plate, go up, pick the sides you want, get more protein, get whatever you want. Right, but again, keep in mind being mindful with it. Right, so start, instead of loading up your whole plate, right, get two more of your favorite sides, maybe another serving of protein. Right, see how you feel after that. Right, or if you're hungry and you want to save space for dessert, that's great. Like, that's another boundary you can do. There's so many choices that you can create for yourself in this, and a lot of people can be scared of that much choice because they're already preparing Thanksgiving and and they're trying to make sure everyone's satisfied. But ultimately, this helps us feel like we have the ability to make the decision that aligns with us, and that's what we got. That's what we want: making aligned decisions, not good or bad decisions. Right? If you want pie, it's not a bad decision because you're not a bad person for enjoying dessert. I fucking love pie. I really do. Like pecan pie, pumpkin pie, key lime pie is okay. But those two, I can go down. I can put down really quickly, really easily. But I don't want to consume two whole pies. I'll probably have half a slice of each because I want to enjoy it. I want to prioritize my protein first, prioritize my veggies first. Because I've been there. Trust me, I have a lot of family members who cook a lot of food, who have a big expectation for us to eat all of the food. And I guess I'm going to share another little hack. I politely tell my family no, who always feel like I need to be eating more, right? That's their way of showing love, is giving me food. And when I eat all the food, they're very happy. Like I enjoyed it. So I eat a good amount of food, but I politely say no by like, if they offer me more food, I politely say no by like, I can't eat anymore. I am so stuffed. And I'm not inherently lying because I am stuffed. Like, a lot of us feel super full, but then we're like if we have family members who pressure us to eat, then we're gonna kind of tough it out and eat through it. Now it's easy to overconsume calories, but we can say no without saying no and not hurt anybody's feelings or feel like we're gonna hurt anybody's feelings. So anyway, side tangent, bonus tip around this, but ultimately, it's feeling like we have control, right? And giving ourselves little boundaries to remind us that we can feel the way that we want to feel instead of focusing on everything that we don't want, and then we end up making decisions that lead us down that path that makes us feel the way that we don't want when we didn't want it, but because our brain can't differentiate between what we do and what we don't, we only focuses on the thing that we're focusing on. Well, now we're giving it a new focus. We're giving it new choices that will allow us to feel the way that we do want to feel. We can't change the external without changing the internal. And if you want to enjoy a certain food that you deem as bad, but you genuinely love it, well, you can have it. If you want the pie, eat the damn pie. It just has to be on your terms. It has to be within your means. That's what we want to establish. And once we do that, if we allow ourselves to have the pie appropriately or the food appropriately, well, now we have no reason to feel bad about it. Now we have no reason to go to bed discouraged, disappointed, frustrated, and wake up. And now we feel like we messed up the entirety of our progress. And well, it's all downhill from here. Now I guess with Christmas and all the leftovers, now I might as well just give up and wait till New Year's Eve. Who wins if you wait for 5 weeks to make decisions for yourself? Nobody. You're 5 weeks behind where you could have been January 1 of 2024, whatever time you're listening to this. If you go into this and you walk away feeling better, you're more likely to make more progress over the long run and learn how to live your life at the same time. And if you learn how to do both, to make mindful decisions, to make mindful decisions that align with you and your goals, without stimulating that little child in our brain and say everything they can't have, so they rebel and go against the grain. Well, now you're going to walk away feeling like, okay, I am in control. I can make progress. I can feel good about my decisions. And you're going to want to keep finding ways to keep going. And when you do that, when you start feeling better about your decisions, you improve your consistency. And when you improve your consistency, you improve your results over time. And when you improve your results over time and you see that it doesn't have to be a miserable process, well, you're far more likely to keep staying consistent because you like the way that you feel. This is what I love teaching people, and I want to give you this short this short message today to help remind you. If you listen on Thanksgiving, I appreciate it, but if you're listening after Thanksgiving, like we can have these. Oh, actually, before I finish, we can have all these plans, we can have all these boundaries that we can still try to do our best, but things can still not go our way. We can still fall into old patterns, and that's okay. Because when we practice something, we've practiced certain behavior, certain beliefs for a long time. It's not it just doesn't go away just because we want it to, right? So if we have all this in our mind and we still feel like we end up slipping up or something, I want to remind you of this: what you do most of the time matters more than anything else. One day does not define or derail all of the progress that you've made. All we want to do, if things don't go our way, is do our best to pick up the pieces as quickly as possible, get back in the right direction as quickly as possible, and you'll make it easier for yourself to to feel better, to get back on the path and see results over time, instead of you feeling super discouraged, feeling run down. One decision leads to a week's worth of decisions, which leads into months worth of decisions, and now you're way off the rails, and now it's way harder for you to get back to where you want to go. But I hope this makes sense. I hope this helps you even in a small way. And if you're listening on Thanksgiving, I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving. I hope you eat the damn pie on your terms. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Right? If you're listening after this Thanksgiving and it didn't go your way, remember, one day does not define you. We're human. We make mistakes. That's okay. Perfection isn't real. Keep trying regardless, and things can get better. All right. So thank you so much for listening. If you found this helpful, if I help shift their perspective, even in a small way, I appreciate if you share the episode with at least one person. My entire goal is to help you wherever you're at. And even if I never speak to you, I hope that I'm able to make even a small impact on your journey, on your life. Always happy to help. If you need anything, check the description for all the resources, and I'll see you on the next one.